Hello YouTube, I'm here in wonderful Bali, Indonesia with the Canon R100. Let's give it a spin. So the EOS-R is Canon's mirrorless line. Because it's a mirrorless camera, you have a lot more functional benefits. One of the major ones is that you can mount many different lenses on the camera. So right now I've got the Pentax 35mm lens and it's an f1.8. This is much better than the kit lens that came with the camera. The kit lens that came with the camera simply wasn't fast enough. So using this lens I'm able to get more blur, more background blur. The 4K on this camera, yes, the camera does 4K, it's written on the box. However, the 4K is heavily compromised. Firstly, we lose advanced autofocus features, so you don't get great autofocus in 4K. You also have a 2x crop. So that 2x crop was useful when I want to get closer to animals or dancers in this situation.
Okay, so I'm just going to break up the continuity. I'm now back in Australia. Then after this shot, we're going to go back to Bali. I just want to say, in defense of the kit lens, I was quite harsh on the kit lens, but actually the kit lens does have some redeeming features. So firstly, the autofocus on the kit lens works really well. The autofocus, I'm really confident that it just locks onto my eye. So right now, even though I can't see the screen, I know that it's locked in. Brilliant. Canon's autofocus is really phenomenal. However, that autofocus doesn't work in 4K. In 4K, the autofocus system is not at an advanced system. So the image stabilization is something that I didn't speak about. It works really well using the Canon lens. However, when I used my manual lens, it didn't work at all. So for some reason, even though it's electronic and it's on the camera, image stabilization on a manual lens doesn't work. So that's just something, a phenomenal oversight. Hopefully that could be fixed in a firmware update. I don't know, but that's just, it's quite shocking. So all my talking headshots would have been better using the kit lens. I was too harsh on the kit lens. After coming back from Bali, I got a bit of a flu because it's so cold here. So it's freezing cold. Let's jump back to Bali.
With such a small body, there are compromises to be made. One of the major compromises is the lack of a tilty flippy screen. Right now I'm trying to use the app just to gauge focus because I can't see on the back of my camera right now if I'm in focus. So with using the app, I should be able to do that. But unfortunately the app is disconnecting, it's not very reliable at the moment. And also when you're filming at a low angle, you simply can't see the back of the screen. When I was trying to get shots of these monkeys and I lowered the camera down, I can't see the back, and the EVF juts out the back of the camera and it covers up part of the screen where you see how much you filmed. Right now it is impossible for me to see the screen. Well, I think they may have cut some corners on that one. In terms of image quality, the camera is actually pretty great. I think it's safe to say that image quality has plateaued over the last few generations of cameras. What we have now is something very usable, better than it's ever been before. So even in a small, cheap camera, you do get fantastic results. So rushing off the full frame might not be the best option for most people. I think a small compact camera is really the way to go and is really what the market wants, I would imagine. For entry-level photographers, for people looking to get their first camera, I would highly recommend the EOS R100. because you can grow with it. You can get better lenses. In particular, I had my eye on the Sigma 18 to 55 2.8, which seems like a fantastic lens. You can grow with this lens mount and this system. So I wanted to do a time-lapse of the sunset here. As you can see, we've got clouds right there where the sun is setting, and there are no clouds in the sky anywhere else. So I pretty much can't do a time-lapse of things here, and I can't do a time-lapse of the actual sunset. Time-lapse mode leaves a lot to be desired. The time-lapse mode is only in video, which is good because you do get a ready-made video straight out the camera, but because it's not in photo mode, it doesn't give you the options to shoot in RAW, and the shutter speed is stuck at 1/25th of a second. So shooting images will produce a much better result. But the biggest issue is that because the shutter speed is stuck at 1/25th of a second, you can't do long exposures. So for a time-lapse, you really want exposure to be 1 second. This will result in trees sort of blurred, become like ghosts rather than shaking to get your attention. It results in cars making long trails rather than brisk splashes of color. So Canon could have easily implemented that feature. Really, the code is as simple as 5 lines of code. Why it wasn't implemented, I don't know, but clearly we're trying to cut too many corners here. I have an old Canon 500D, which I installed Magic Lantern on it, and that gives me the ability to do time lapses, and that camera is about 15 years old, whereas this brand new camera simply can't do that. Now, Magic Lantern is, I'm not recommending it, it's a third-party hack that you can install on your camera. Now, it's not available yet for the Canon EOS R line. Maybe in the future it will be available, we don't know. Well, that's pretty much it. I will see you in the next one. This is my channel, Future Shot Digital, coming to you from Bali, Indonesia. Just here for the holidays. See you later. Bye-bye.